Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Welcome to the first session of M180. I'm recording this session to explain you some concept or the practical concepts of the arrays, by which you can learn how to write the programs using the arrays, and we are going to take the examples which are present in the coming slides. Now, starting with the arrays. The arrays are a group of elements or a set of elements having same name and same type. A group of elements having same name and same type is called it as an array. So for example, if I have a group of elements, let's say I have some 5 elements. Those are 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. So we can put all these elements together in an array. For example, let's say ABC. So this group of elements can be put in an array as 5 elements, okay, in one name. This is what the array is. Now if you see the graphical representation of the array, here we have 10 elements. Those are 10 values, which are these. Now to these 10 values we can give a name called an array, let's say ABC. And these 10 values, every element or every value has a index in the array. So for example, the first element has an index 0 in the array. The second element has an index 1, and the last element, that is the 10th element, has an index 9. So the index is nothing but the position of the element or the position of the value in the array. So here the index starts from 0 to the length of the array minus 1. So here, starting from 0 to 9, which tells that there are 10 elements in the array. There are 10 elements in the array. Now here, how we can write this array or how we can declare the array in Java. In Java, you can declare the array by giving the name of the array and its size, by giving the name and its size. To start with, first we need to declare the array, telling that what is the type of the array, then writing the array variable preceding with the square brackets. Then this is a declaration of the array. For this you will get an array called num in the memory, but it has no elements, so it will be referring to the null. It has no elements. Now to give the elements to the array, we need to allocate the space for the array with the help of new operator. So here num is equal to new int of 4 will give 4 consecutive elements in the memory. Okay, the default value for this array is 0 because it is of type integer. So the integer are those numbers, the default value is 0 in the array. This is the declaration of the array. Okay. Now we can write these two statements in one line as int num is equal to new int of 4. It is same as writing two statements, first with int int number with the brackets over here, and then writing num is equal to new int. It is same as writing in one statement. This is the declaration of the array. We can also assign the array, or we can assign the values to the array with the help of the index. Their index starts from 0 and it goes till the length minus 1. So it is length is 4 elements minus 1 3. So from 0 to 3. From 0 to 3. Now we can assign the value to the element with the help of this index. For example, I want to assign, so let's say 10 for the first element. So num of 0 is equal to 10, will give 10 over here. I want to assign the second element as 20. So if I say num of 1 is equal to 20, will be 20 over here. In the same fashion, num of 2 is equal to 30 and num of 3 is equal to 40, will give 30 and 40 to the values. So here we assign the value with the help of the index. Okay, or we can assign the values if you know from the beginning itself, you know the values. We can assign the values with the help of at the time of declaration. We can assign the value at the time of declaration. Now how to assign the value at the time of declaration? It is simple. Like when you declare an array, for example, int ABC is equal to, and then you assign the values 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So what happens in the memory? An array will be created. We will be referencing to these 5 memory locations where these values are present: 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. Okay, so this is how you can create an array in Java. This is how you can create an array in Java. You can create an array of any type. Here we have created an array of integer by using int. You can create an array of floating point values by using float or double. You can create an array of strings. You can create an array of characters, or you can create an array of any type you want. Okay, now let's go back here and see some of the array operations. Yeah, here it is showing that when we have 2 arrays and one array will assign to another array, then both array will refer to the same elements. For example, over here you see there are 2 arrays, int ABC and XYZ. There are 2 arrays declared over int ABC and XYZ, and then it says ABC is equal to new int of 5. So ABC is created, allocated the memory. So in the memory now it is ABC with the 5 elements, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it is ABC now here. ABC array will referring to these memory locations with the initial value zeros because it is an integer array. Now if you say XYZ is equal to ABC, now you are assigning ABC to XYZ array directly. So at this point XYZ will also refer to the same array XYZ. Now if you change any element by using the index of any array, either ABC or XYZ, both will have the value. For example, you said XYZ is equal to 100, XYZ of 3, so it is 0, 1, 2, 3. So the third will be 100. And if you access ABC of 3, you will get 100. If you say ABC, because both are referring to the same memory location. So as it is given here in the diagram. Now this is the declaration, assigning the array at the time of declaration. Here there is something called array index out of bound exception. Okay. Now what is this array index out of bound exception? For example, let's say you have an array called ABC with 5 elements, index starting from 0 to 4. Let's say the elements are 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. Now for example, the index is from 0 to 4. Now here you are trying to use the index ABC of phi either to access or to assign the value, at this point the compiler will generate an error called array index out of bound. That is, you are trying to access the element, access the index which is not there in the array. This is called array index out of bound exception or error. There is something called length variable of the array. Length of the array is nothing but the size of the array. That is, the how many elements the array can hold gives the length of the array. Okay. For example, you have created an array. For example, let's take it in NetBeans. I'll open a NetBean for you. Here is the NetBean in which I have declared an array of type int abc 1 to 3. Okay. Now the length of the array is nothing but the number of elements in this array, that is 5. So if I print the length, I should get 5. So here is the statement system.out.println abc.length. The length of the array is abc.length. So I should get the length of the array. Let me comment the statement which is after this till the end and try to execute this. I should get the length of the array is 5. So the length gives the number of elements or the size of the array. The size of the array. Now there are some operations on the array or some array manipulations. Here the first is sum the elements of the array or adding all the elements of the array. So how we can add the elements of the array? It's very simple, that you have to go to every element of the array. You have to go to the every element of the array and then take the element and add to sum. For example, over here, let's take an array ABC of integer which has the element 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now if you want to calculate the sum of the array is, let's take a variable sum which is initially 0. Now what you have to do, take the first element, add to the sum. So 0 plus 1 is 1. Take the next element, add to it, so plus 2, so it is 3. Take the next element, add to it, that is 3. 3 plus 3, 6. Take the next element, add to the sum, 4. 6 plus 4, 10. Take the next element, add to 10, it will be 15. So you have to go element by element, take it and add to the sum. So we can do it this one by putting a loop. That is, we have to go element by element. We can go element by element with the help of index, starting from 0 to the length minus 1. Okay. So here we'll say for, we'll take the index int I as the index. So I here is index. I starts from 0 because the index starts from 0. I less than abc.length, that is up to 4. The length is 5, less than 5 is up to 4. Then increment I every time because we go from 0 to 4. So every time 0, 1, 2. So it is I plus plus. Now here sum is equal to sum plus abc of I. So abc of 0, that's the first element. abc of 1, abc of 2, abc of 3 and abc of 4. So all these are added one by one to the sum. So let's put this code in the in NetBeans. So here the code available, you can see here I have put it int I is equal to 0, I is less than abc.length I plus plus, sum plus is equal to abc of I, which is similar or it is equivalent to sum is equal to sum plus abc of I. Then I am printing the sum of the array element is plus sum. So I should get, it is 1 plus 2, 3, 3 plus 3, 6, 6 plus 4, 10, 10 plus 5, 15. So let us run this program. Now you got here the sum of the array element is 15. So here you calculate the sum by passing to the array one after the other. The next is count the occurrence. That is nothing but count whether an element is present in the array and how many times it is present. For example, let's take an array. Let's take an array called ABC. Int ABC is equal to 1, 2, 3, 1, 5. Now you want to count, for example, x, which is 1. You want to count whether 1, how many times present in the array. Let's take a counter to keep track of count. Okay, initially 0. Now what you have to do is you have to go for every element with the help of index, that is ABC of 0, and compare with this one whether it is 1 or not. If it is 1, increment the counter plus plus. Then go to the next element, check. If not, leave it. Then once you found it, then do again plus plus. Okay, so we can put this in the code as very simple, that we have to first take the counter first we have to take the count. It is 0. I am taking the element 4. I want to check how many times the 4 is present. So I start from 0, int I 0, I less than abc dot length, that is the length of the array, I plus plus. If abc of I, that is abc of 0, the first element, is equal to the element, then increment the counter. If not, simply repeat the loop. Increment the I, go to the abc of 1, check whether it is x, that is 4 or not, increment the counter. Finally, after that, once this loop finish, I am printing the element occurs count number of times in the array. So I should get the result over here. I am checking for 4. 4 is present only one time. So I should get 4 occurs only one time. So the 4 occurs one time in the array. Let's say, for example, I'll take this 2 and replace this with 4. Now I should get 4 occurs 2 times in the array, right? So what you can do? Four occurs 2 times in the array. Okay. In the same fashion, let's say change the variable. For example, I am looking for 3. So 3 is only once available. Now here 3 occurs one time in the array, as we see only one time. Okay. If I put 3 times, I should get 3 times. So 3 occurs 3 times in the array. So let's change this array again to 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So this is the occurrence of the array. Then determine a presence and absence. It is same as what we did. We need to check whether the variable is or the element is present in the array or not, and increment the counter and print the element is present in the array. Instead of printing the counter, just print whether the element is present or not. That will do it by taking a boolean variable and say whether it is initially true. If it is not found, we make it as false. Okay. Then determine the first location. It is again the same thing. You need to go through the array and check whether the element is present or not. If it is present, take the index as the location plus 1 and you can display the location. Okay. Now again, working with any size of the array is just by using abc.length. In the previous programs, as you see here, this is using direct number. So instead of direct number, you can use abc.length, the length of the array. You can work, no need to know about the size of the array. Just say abc.length will give you the size of the array. Now here is an example asking you what is the output of this code. So here, if you see the condition over here to know the output, the condition is my array of I mod 2 is equal to 0 and my array of I mod 5 is equal to 0. So here mod 2 is equal to 0 is nothing but a number divisible by 2 where the remainder goes 0, and mod 5 is equal to 0 is nothing but a number which is divisible by 5. So mod 5 is equal to 0 is nothing but a number which is divisible by 5. So if you take for example 10 mod 2 is 0 because it goes 5 times, remainder 0. 10 mod 5 is 0 because it goes 2 times in 5 and remaining 0. So at this point both the conditions are true. Increment the counter. Initially counter is 0, now counter is 1, and add to the sum. Sum is 0, 0 plus 10, it is 10. Now sum is 10. Again go for the next element. It is not, because it is divisible by 2 but not by 5. The second condition is false. This is also the same, divisible by 2 but not by 5. This is divisible by 2 and by 5. In 2 it goes 10 times and in 5 it goes 4 times, remaining 0. So add this to the sum. Increment the counter. Now it is 2 elements and the sum is 30. Then again you have 24 is false, it will not come. 70 will come, it goes by 2 and by 5. 15 will not come. Sorry, increment the counter to 3. 15 will not come. 100 will come. So increment the counter by 1, that is 4. Now the total is 200. So the output here is counter is 0. No, counter is, so go to the else part. There are 4 elements and their sum is 200. There are 4 elements and their sum is 200. The next example here is the inverse of the array. Now what is the inverse of the array? The inverse of the array is nothing but you are just making the inverse of the array, that is bringing the last element to the first. Okay, for example over here if you see this, all these elements, of the array 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say these are the elements of the array. Now inverse of the array. What is the inverse of the array? Inverse of the array is, for example, it's another array. Let's take inverse of, or inverse of this array is what? It is nothing but it is an array with the last element as the first element. That is, the index is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? The fourth index or the last element will be given as the first element, which is the index 0. And the second last is the second element. And the third last will be the third element. And the fourth last will be the fourth element. And the fifth last will be the fifth element. This is the inverse of the array. That is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So what you have to do is, you have to take the last element and put it in the first element. So you have to start from the last element. So how we can start from the last element? First we have to get the last index. So how we can get the last index is with the help of the length operator. Let's take m is equal to abc dot length minus 1. What is the length? It is 5. 5 minus 1, that is 4. So m is now 4, which is the last element. So ABC of m will be 4. So every time you have to start from the fourth element and go third, second, first and the zeroth element. So you start decrementing the index. So 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So we can write a for loop here for int I. The index is starting from m because we need to go from the last. M is 4 from the last. Then I greater than or equal to 0 because we have to reach till 0th element. 0 index. So 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So I greater than or equal to 0, and every time I need to decrement it because we have to go from back. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now I'll take another array called inverse array, inverse ABC. So here it is inverse ABC, inverse of ABC of m minus I is equal to ABC of I. So here m minus I is 4, m is 4, I is 4, 4 minus 4 0. So inverse of 0 is equal to ABC of 4. So inverse ABC of 0 is equal to ABC of 4. Now if you see ABC of 4 is 5, will be given to the inverse ABC of 0, that is to the first element. So like this it will go again, decrement the I to 3, so it is 4 minus 3, it is 1. So inverse ABC of 1 is equal to ABC of 3. So the third element, the fourth element is given to the first, second. So it goes repeat till the end of the loop, till it reaches 0 and then minus 1. We can put this in the code. We will take an inverse array and then we'll do the inverse. And we try to print the same inverse. Here is m abc dot length minus 1, I starting from m, I greater than 0, I minus minus. Inverse of abc of m minus I is equal to inverse of abc of I. Then after that I am printing the inverse array with the help of the for loop. Inverse of abc of I. So I should get the inverse of the array. So here you can see the inverse of the array is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is how we can calculate the inverse of the array. This is about the inverse of the array. The next here is counting the odd numbers or counting the even numbers. It is just you need to check the condition after the for loop whether the element is divisible by 2 or not. If it is divisible by 2, it is an even number. If not, it is an odd number, and you can keep a counter, count it every time you increment the counter. You can copy this code and work on the NetBeans. So this is all what we have in the arrays section of M180. So with this I will stop the recording of this session with the arrays, and inshallah in the next recording you are going to see two-dimensional array and how you can work with the two-dimensional arrays. So thank you for now, and hope you will find it beneficial and may useful for you in your studies. Thank you again.